Welcome to my podcast, Kamantinėjimai, about creators and participants. And this is a special edition for the Ideas and Trend Festival Revolution. And I have a special guest, Ralf Specht from Germany, from 27 Names. So welcome to Lithuania, and I'm very happy to have you here.
Well, thank you very much, Aurimas, for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here.
Funny thing that I'm German-speaking guy. I have a German-speaking guest, but that everybody could understand what we are talking about. Let's do it in English, okay?
Absolute.
So, if you are ready, we can start.
Let's go.
Let's go. What is the most important or more important, happy people, I mean employees, or happy customers?
That's a good question, huh? Yeah, if you had happy people, usually help creating happy customers, because when your people don't feel that you value them, your customers will feel it soon as well.
I heard one advice or opinion that people are coming to work just to spend good time.
I wouldn't agree to that.
No?
I wouldn't agree to that at all. I think people are going to work or coming to work for two different reasons, and they're both important, and both need to be considered by any leader.
Could you please share most interesting trends about creating corporate soul?
I think one of the biggest challenges for leaders is to operate in a working from home environment and creating a reason why people want to come back to the office and not wanting to stay at home.
We will have few topics during this podcast. Mm-hmm. One is 27 Name, that you are chairman of it and I'm a member of it. And I'm very proud to being a member of 27 Names because it helps for me to share my experience and to get inspirations from other members, how we could create more interesting, interactive, sustainable events to make our talents also inspired and more professional, and to collaborate with each other between all these members, almost all 27 names. Okay, and other topic is what you are writing the books, yeah, about the culture and soul of companies. Mm-hmm. That it's also very important, especially for event organizers who are doing corporate events, and mostly they are working with the soul of the company. And so, which topic you would like to begin?
We can start with 27 Names in
Let's
the first
do
place.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So 27 Names was originally founded in 2008. So it's a long time ago. It's year 16, if you think about it. And it was founded by a friend of mine, Ulf Gassner, who was still is running, an agency called Concept X in Germany. And he attended one of these BR World events, or at the time BR events, which made him think of the fact that there's so many great inspirations from other agencies outside Germany, that he thought it would be a great idea to bring them together or create a community of those like-minded agencies, which is what he did. And so over the years it grew. I've joined 27 Names as chairman 2 years ago. So back in, we've got a little bird here, back in 22. And it was very important for us when I joined that we zeroed in on what's the purpose of 27 Names actually, because it's a very unique organization, as you know. So we got
why it's unique?
It's unique because we got one member from each country, European country. So obviously 27 Names links to the EU of 27 countries, but we already got a few members that are not EU member states, so there might even be more than 27 agencies.
So that means that we will change the name?
No. 27 names is 27 names. You don't never change a winning trademark. But I think the element of having a community of the best independent agency, so quality of the agency output is a key element. Independence, so it's owner-led, is another key ingredient. Life experience agencies, meaning the focus of whatever the agency is working on has to be life experience. And the fact that there's only one agency per country leads to an interesting dynamic within the community, because different to local communities like the Event Agencies Association in any market is that the agencies do not compete with one another. So that allows for the members, the leaders, to share very openly what's happening in their agency, in their market, ask for advice, get inspiration from others, without having to fear that whatever they share in this environment will become an advantage for their key competitors in their local market. So that's why at local associations, there's always that glass ceiling of what you can share and what you can't share, and that doesn't exist within 27 names.
We have very different sizes of the countries and of course of agencies. One has 200 employees, other one 10. So how they can collaborate?
I think the strength of 27 names is the fact that all these countries are different and that all these agencies are different. That's the strength of Europe as a whole. It's not like one thing, it's like many different things. And very often innovation doesn't come from the big places. Very often it comes from smaller places. So here in the Baltics, obviously we got 3 agencies that are part of 27 names, and so we got Yolos, which has been the agency of the year in Estonia for 4 years now. We got Sponsor King from Latvia, and Rekure here in Lithuania. And when we looked at your agency, for instance, one of the things that really made Rekure stand out is the reason why I'm here today, which is the Revolution Festival. So having the guts to say, well, actually, in this part of the world, in this part of Europe, there isn't such a thing as a festival or a congress for the industry, was something that we said, well, this is actually something that we should support and that we should join and make it an opportunity for the wider group, and everybody can learn from it.
Usually, event industry has very strong personalities that not always, a lot of strong leaders, characters and charismas. How you are managing to combine them all together and create the common soul?
Well, I think talking about 27 names, you are right. Strong agencies usually have strong leaders. Strong leaders have strong egos. What I found with the leadership in 27 names is there are only strong leaders. All the agencies have got strong leaders, but all of them are humble because they see the strength in every other strong leader, and they understand that they can benefit from what the other leaders think of and think about and where their minds are going. So is not a competition of who's the best, because they're all the best, is about how to leverage their strengths. And I think that's a very unique opportunity, I think. Writing the book, Building Corporate Soul, was about when I left my last operational activity as CEO of a company called Spark 44, which was a joint venture with Jaguar and Land Rover to build a global agency, which we did with 1,200 people in 19 offices worldwide. When I left, I received tons of messages from my peers, and they were much deeper than you would normally think of all the best, thank you very much, and let me know where you end up next, so perhaps we can work together, da-da-da. That was part of that too, but there was something deeper, which was about the experience people had in the very unique culture that we had built at Spark 44. And so what I thought, I have two choices. I could either keep those memories for me and look at my iPhone and the WhatsApp messages and get sentimental about it when I need it, or package it in a way that allows people to understand what it takes to build a company or an organization with soul. And the book contains a model which has got 3 levels. It starts with shared purpose, shared understanding, and then shared behaviors. For me, the word shared is a critical word in this context, because everybody talks about purpose. When we were in Spain, we learned that purposeful events is the #1 thing people are looking for, and that's true. But I talk about it as shared purpose because very often purpose is like a fig leaf. It's like a plaster. It's like a billboard. Looks great, sounds great, wallpaper, wonderful, but it isn't taken into the reality. That's why I'm talking about shared on 2 levels. Shared by the leadership team of any organization. So if they don't buy into that purpose, it's worthless. But then also shared with every stakeholder, inside and outside the organization, so that they all understand what this company or organization is about. And from that, you start looking into what's the vision, mission, and the values, and a spirit, which I look at as the intentional culture of any organization, and then how you translate that into the shared behaviors, which means how do you deal with all the stakeholders, with your people, with people that would like to join the organization, with your suppliers, with your partners, with the communities, any stakeholder, if you like. And how can you make sure that you synchronize these 3 things, the shared purpose, the shared understanding, and the shared behaviors. And if you do that well, and many organizations do that well, then you get to a place where your KPIs in terms of revenues, profits, people retention grow significantly, but also some things that people often don't look at so carefully benefit as well, so your people don't get burned out. Companies with soul have a 3 times less likelihood of mass layoffs, so they don't have to fire people because business is weak. The companies, the organizations are more resilient, the business is better, the profits are better, the people are more happy people, happy customers. So one thing leads to another, and that's why I called it building corporate soul.
What is the most important or more important, happy people, I mean employees, or happy customers?
That's a good question, huh? Yeah, if you had happy people, usually help creating happy customers, because when your people don't feel that you value them, your customers will feel it soon as well, and then they might have been happy once, but they might not be happy twice. And customer retention and employee retention are 2 critical factors, and they are not separate from one another.
Could you please share 3 tips how to start making people happy in the...
Well, let's start with a shared purpose. And there's 2 questions that you should ask yourself, and these questions sound very, very simple. And they are simple, but the answers are not. Question 1 is, why am I here? And that's the question for you as a leader, but then also for your people. And the second question is, why are we here? Why are we here? What are we here for? What's the reason for us being here? So that's the understanding of what is the purpose of the organization. The second level is about the shared understanding. What do we believe in, and how do we create belief in others? Are those two questions. And finally, when it comes to the behaviors, what does it feel like to belong here? If you can answer those questions for your organization, you've come a long, long way.
But how to get into the one answer, common answer, having several different directions?
Well, that's understanding about who you are. Why am I here? Why am I here? And for 27 names, when we asked that questions and discussed it with all the leaders...
But you're getting different answers, yeah?
Yes.
Different reasons why they are here.
Yes, but then you start digging deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and you come down to one thing, which is, what is it that you are expecting from this place? So why are we here? And the answer for 27 names was inspiration.
I heard one advice or opinion that people are coming to work just to spend good time. And you, as a leader, you should not confuse them by giving some different expectations, or they're just coming to spend good time. And if they will go out of the comfort zone, they will just leave you and find another.
I wouldn't agree to that.
No?
I wouldn't agree to that at all. I think people are going to work or coming to work for two different reasons, and they're both important, and both need to be considered by any leader. One is, there are basic needs that people need to manage. They need to earn money so they can afford a living and lead a good life. That's the basic element. But the second element is they are looking for something that gives them a sense of meaning and a sense of belonging. And the sense of meaning comes from that question of, why am I here? Or why are we here? What's the purpose of our organization? Why are we doing what we're doing? The sense of belonging comes from the way the community in which they're operating acts and behaves, and you either feel welcome or not. It's exactly that, creating that sense of belonging to a group that has a sense of a meaning, that is it what gives people a lot of satisfaction and purpose in their life. And that's more than earning money. The money element is a basic thing. And very often when I talk to people, they say, well, we've given them a raise here and a raise there. And I'm saying, well, but you're missing the point. It's not about money as such. Of course, the money element needs to be there, and it needs to be balanced, and it needs to be fair, no question about it. But if you think just by giving away the paycheck at the end of the month is bringing loyalty from your people to yourself, you're missing the point. Loyalty comes from believing in the same thing, feeling that you're valued. There was a wonderful study that McKinsey did 18 months ago. They asked why people were leaving. And the interesting thing about that study was they asked both HR directors and managing directors of companies, and they asked the people. And so when you asked the managers, the response was very much in this space of they could earn more money somewhere else, they could get a quicker promotion there, or there were some health issues. Okay. When you looked at the responses that the people gave, the people that left, it was completely different. They said, I didn't feel valued by my manager, I didn't feel valued by my organization, I didn't feel any sense of belonging. There you go.
Could you please share most interesting trends about creating corporate soul?
I think we're now talking in the summer of 2024, and just 2 years ago we were in the midst of a pandemic situation which created a lot of challenges to many people and many organizations. And one of the factors that have created a significant impact on organizational culture has been working from home. Because all of a sudden you had a different challenge because you didn't have those informal moments that happened during a working day when people were at the coffee machine or just having lunch together. Those moments didn't exist because people were operating from their living rooms. And every now and then people started to become tired of Zoom calls and shut the camera off, so you were basically only listening to one another. Finding a way to bringing people together, which interestingly comes back to our initial topic of revolution and creating a moment where people coming together, discussing, sharing information, sharing insights in the physical world, where you can see the person who's talking to you, can talk to them, ask questions and get inspired by. I think one of the biggest challenges for leaders is to operate in a working from home environment and creating a reason why people want to come back to the office and not wanting to stay at home.
If we have international company working all around Europe or world in different continents, is it possible to have one common soul, or it has different souls in every country?
You better have one, because otherwise you don't have any.
But is it possible?
Yes, of course. It is possible. The book is about looking at the best examples of companies that have done them or have created them. I look at two companies specifically. There are many examples in the book, but I look at two specifically which I think are spectacular in the way they've done it. One is LinkedIn and the other one is Lego. Both have created what I call the soul system, the shared purpose, shared understanding and shared behavior in a way that has guided them through decades. LinkedIn's soul system has been developed in 2004. They've changed one sentence in 2023, but other than that, it's been the same from day one. And I think their former CEO, Jeff Weiner, put it in a very compelling way. He said, also coming back to your point about having strong leaders, if you have strong leaders, and you're creating an organization in many countries or in many different geographies, might be the same country but in different cities, everybody has their own way of interpreting what they think the company is about. So if you are not crystal clear about what it is about, very quickly you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 different companies in your one company. And this might not be a problem in year 1 or 2, but as time progresses, it's like sailing. If you're missing your compass by half a degree, it might definitely not get you where you want to be, and you'll end up somewhere else. And if you're operating a company and in many markets, and everybody interprets their understanding of what the company is about in their own way, you will have 20 companies instead of one.
How long it takes to create a corporate soul, and what are the main and biggest challenges?
Well, I think the biggest challenge in the first place is to have that level of clarity of why am I here and why are we here. And then that's why I call it shared purpose, finding a way to make sure that this doesn't get stuck in the boardroom, but actually gets understood and lived by everyone in the entire company. So how long it takes? It's a question of where you start. When you start from scratch and you start to ask those questions at the very beginning before you scale, the answer is it doesn't take any time, because that's kind of how you build it. The problem of time comes up when you feel that you missed the point and didn't look at it, and your company has grown, but now you've got like 20 different companies, if you like, and getting into transformation programs that bring everybody back together, because one big challenge is people often think they start to lose something, where actually they will win something, but from their personal view, it's a sense of I might lose something here. So that is something where leaders have to be very honest and sincere in doing it, because any transformation only lives by the quality of leadership going through the transformation and not stopping on step 3 when you got 8 steps to take you through.
Who should read your book?
Well, I think the book's for everyone who is concerned about their culture, because they feel something's not right, and it depends on where the issue sits. So it's for leaders and for people who would like to become leaders. So, as I said, when you start from implementing the ideas from day one, there's no question of time. The question only comes up when you miss the point at one part of the journey. When I wrote the book, it was very important to me to find the best examples, no matter the size of the company or the industry the company was working in. So this is not an example for you got to be a 50,000 people company. This is as much true for a 3 people organization as it is for a 300,000 people organization.
Is it only for like companies, or also it could be used for the schools or kindergartens or municipalities?
It's for any organization. For any organization that involves more than one person.
So what is your mission now?
I think for us as an organization, it is very critical to find the right partners in each country, which means both the agency and the leaders, because the interaction between both is critical, and that is a key factor for selecting agencies or selecting new members. I think for us as an organization, the recent numbers have already shown we're more than 1,000 people strong. The growth predictions for this year will be, or are currently across the board 13%, which is quite a significant number. It's definitely much more than GDP growth in the European Union and even globally. So it seems to be a very healthy business, a very profitable business, a business that is able to invest in its own future and manage the challenges of the industry that are happening. When for the event tomorrow, you got our friends from VO Group here who are talking about sustainability, and they're my impact tool, and it's initiatives like these, and there are many others from the various members that are going to help to shape the future of the industry. And I think this is where 27 Names can become a voice and will be a voice in the industry. And I think that's part of the future of 27 Names, as it is to build a very strong community of like-minded professionals of the best independent life experience agencies.
All the members has a very clear goal to get as much as they can awards in international award ceremonies. Why it's important to participate to win a prize for the agency, for the company, and how it can build our soul?
Well, recognition is a key element, and if you look at it from an employee point of view, being recognized, I mean, we just talked recognized by your manager or by the organization, feeling that sense of belonging. We met last year in Rome, and you went on stage, and many others went on stage, and seeing the pride and the excitement of being recognized for the quality of your work, and all that work has been hard work. People invest a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy in developing the concepts, but then also implementing those concepts together with the clients. And seeing your work judged, not just by a client who makes the decision, I pick this one or that one, but by professionals from the industry who think this project has brought innovation to the category, has brought a different angle, a different view on certain things to this part of the business, or has created a new sector in the first place, is something that supports the idea of constantly innovating inside an organization, and also valuing the effort that goes into it. So I think awards are multifaceted. They also allow clients to understand the strength of an agency, as long as it's not pro bono awards, but like real on real work. They are basically also creating, how do you say, a mall for clients to see what's on the market, what's the latest and the greatest that's happening there, and so I think they have a huge importance. And looking at the 27 names agencies at Bea and now at Eventex as well, there were 19 awards for agencies of our community, which is probably the highest number of any international group of agencies that were present, which I think is a good sign of the quality of work that comes out of 27 names.
I'm very proud. We won a Platinum Award for the
Absolutely.
best gala dinner in the world. Thank you. If you would be president of the jury, what kind of project you will be award for the Grand Prix? What it should be?
I would always look into what we started our conversation with, at projects that are based on a real insight that creates an opportunity to do something really different, and fully understanding the target audience and creating a value in engagement of that audience at the event. It doesn't really matter what industry, what category is about. To me, is about that quality of engagement based on an insight of fully understanding that target audience.
Any advices how to do this?
Ask the right questions. Ask the right questions, and when you think you've asked all the right questions, start asking more.
Okay. Thank you, Ralf, for coming here.
Well, thank you very much, Aurimas. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, to share, and to comment or ask some questions, and I will ask Ralf to answer them on the comments. Thank you. See you.